I believed her promises of honesty as if they were etched in stone. Each "I love you" a sacred vow meant to build our shared future. I trusted her completely, convinced that our life was founded on transparency and mutual respect. Then one evening, while tidying up her laptop, I discovered a hidden folder labeled Plans B and C. In that moment, every tender word she'd spoken turned to bitter ash. The folder's secret contents revealed not just a backup plan, but a labyrinth of lies and betrayals that shattered my trust entirely. My heart pounded, my mind raced, and I realized that everything I believed in was a carefully constructed illusion. I still remember the early days when our world seemed so full of promise. We met during a crisp winter evening at a mutual friend's holiday party. The lights, the laughter, and her effortless charm had drawn me in like a moth to a flame. We talked for hours about our dreams and shared passions. She spoke about the future with a quiet confidence that made every "I love you" feel like a promise of forever. I trusted her completely. Her honesty was the cornerstone of everything we built together. We moved in, planned our future, and celebrated each milestone as if it were a stepping stone to a blissful eternity. Our home was a place of warmth and shared secrets. Together we decorated every corner, each piece carefully chosen to reflect our love and dreams. I remember the way her eyes lit up when she talked about our future. The cozy house, the family we hoped to build, the adventures we'd have. Everything felt real and tangible, a life meticulously planned and lovingly built. I cherished the way she made me feel safe, the belief that no matter what, she'd always be honest with me. I never questioned her. I believed in her every word. Yet, as time passed, subtle hints began to surface. Quiet moments when her gaze drifted away, lingering phone calls that she dismissed as work, and a slight change in her tone when I asked about her day. At first, I rationalized these as normal signs of a busy life, trusting that our love was strong enough to endure any fleeting distraction. I reminded myself that honesty was the foundation of our bond, that her occasional reticence was simply the cost of balancing a demanding career and a personal life. But deep down, a whisper of doubt grew louder with each passing day, a feeling I tried to ignore, convinced that our love was resilient enough to withstand any challenge. Then, one quiet Sunday afternoon while I was cleaning her laptop, an idle chore that I usually did without a second thought, I stumbled upon a folder I had never seen before. The folder, tucked away in the depths of her documents, was simply titled Plans B and C. My heart skipped a beat. I hesitated, wondering if perhaps I had misclicked or if it was an innocuous file. But curiosity gnawed at me and I double-clicked it. What I saw inside made my blood run cold. A series of meticulously organized files, emails, chat logs, and even photographs. Every document outlined plans and schedules that hinted at meetings, rendezvous, and covert dates that had nothing to do with the life we were building. The label Plans B and C was like a neon sign flashing the truth. There was a backup, an alternative, a secret life that she had meticulously planned behind my back. I felt as if the floor had vanished beneath me. The vivid images on the screen, the dates, the locations, they all painted a picture of a woman who had been living a double life. My mind raced with questions. How could she? Why would she need a Plan B or even a Plan C? Every memory of her loving assurances now twisted into something unrecognizable, a web of deception so intricately woven that I felt betrayed in every fiber of my being. I sat there for what felt like hours, my heart pounding in my ears, each second stretching into an eternity of disbelief and heartbreak. That discovery plunged me into a storm of conflicting emotions. I felt anger, profound sadness, and a crushing sense of betrayal that made me question every word she had ever spoken. I replayed our conversations over and over, the tender "I love you"s and the promises of unwavering honesty now seeming like empty, hollow words. My mind began to unravel the timeline. Late nights she claimed were spent on work projects, unexplained absences, moments of silence when I expected her laughter. Everything now pointed to a hidden life, meticulously planned and concealed in digital files that I had stumbled upon by accident. I knew I had to confront the truth, but I also realized that I needed to gather every scrap of evidence to understand the full extent of her deception. Over the next several days, I combed through her laptop, meticulously copying files and taking screenshots of every detail in the hidden folder. I saved emails that detailed secret meetings and chat logs that confirmed her plans for late-night rendezvous. I even found photographs of her in settings that I had never seen her in, elegant dinners at upscale restaurants, weekend getaways in luxurious hotel rooms, and candid shots that captured moments of intimacy with another man. With every new file I uncovered, my heart broke a little more, yet my determination to face the truth grew stronger. The evidence painted a damning picture, a carefully curated alternative life, a series of planned rendezvous and secret meetings that she had orchestrated with precision. I couldn't fathom how the woman I loved could compartmentalize her life so completely, to hold a promise of honesty in one hand while constructing a hidden world with the other. The weight of betrayal was unbearable, and I felt as though my entire future was now built on a lie. I began to question my own judgment, wondering if I had been too trusting, too blinded by love. Every "I love you" echoed in my mind with a hollow ring, and the dreams we had planned together, of a home filled with warmth, of a life built on mutual respect, now lay in ruins. Desperate for clarity, I reached out to my closest friend, a compassionate soul who had always been my confidant through every storm. We met at our favorite quiet cafe on a rainy afternoon, the soft murmur of raindrops on the window pane providing a somber backdrop. I recounted every detail of the discovery, my voice barely above a whisper as I explained how I found the hidden folder labeled Plans B and C. Her eyes widened in shock, and she reached across the table to grasp my hand, her touch a silent promise of support. "You deserve the truth," she said firmly, "no matter how painful it is. You deserve to know what you're really dealing with." Her words, gentle yet resolute, were like a lifeline, pulling me back from the edge of despair and giving me the strength to confront the betrayal head-on. Bolstered by my friend's unwavering support, I resolved to confront her. I spent days preparing for the inevitable conversation, rehearsing my words until my voice, though trembling with emotion, became a steady refrain of truth and determination. I wanted to ask her, why did you feel the need to create a secret life? What happened to the promises we made? I needed to know how she could live a double life, how she could share our dreams with one hand while hiding another world behind her back. I knew that a confrontation would be painful, but I also knew that I could no longer live in the shadows of deception. The day of the confrontation arrived on a cool, overcast morning. Our home, once filled with the joyful hum of shared plans, now felt heavy with a silence that spoke of unspoken truths. I sat in the living room, the folder of evidence clutched in my hands, each piece a testament to the betrayal that had shattered my heart. I waited, my heart pounding with a mixture of dread and determination, until she returned from an errand, a routine she had taken for granted, now steeped in uncertainty. When she walked through the door, I met her gaze with a steady, unyielding resolve. "We need to talk," I said simply, my voice echoing in the stillness of our home. Her eyes flickered with a mixture of apprehension and guilt, and for a moment, I saw in them the reflection of a secret she had tried so desperately to keep hidden. I placed the folder on the coffee table and began to speak, my words measured yet laden with raw emotion. "I trusted your promises of honesty," I said, "believing that every word you spoke was the foundation of our future together. But this folder, these hidden files labeled Plans B and C, reveal a reality that I can no longer ignore. I need to know the truth. How could you build a secret life behind my back? Who is the other person, and why did you feel that you needed a backup plan?" Her face crumpled and tears welled up in her eyes. She tried to speak, her voice trembling as she offered feeble explanations about work stress and misunderstandings. But every word she uttered fell flat in the face of the undeniable evidence laid out before us. The emails, the chat logs, the photographs that confirmed a hidden existence that I had never known. The room was thick with silence, punctuated only by the soft hum of the refrigerator and the quiet, agonizing sound of my own heartbeat. I watched as the woman I loved struggled to form coherent answers, her eyes filled with regret and sorrow, a silent admission that the promises she had made were nothing but carefully constructed illusions. The confrontation was a collision of heartbreak and raw truth, a moment when every tender "I love you" we had once shared was turned into a painful question that demanded an answer. I felt the sting of betrayal with every word I spoke, every tear that fell as I demanded to know how she could hide a secret life so meticulously. "I trusted you," I repeated, my voice breaking with emotion, "and you shattered that trust. I deserve to know why you felt the need to create a Plan B and Plan C, a future that excludes the love we vowed to share." Her silence was deafening, a silence that confirmed the betrayal more powerfully than any words could. I realized then that our future, the life I had so eagerly envisioned, was nothing more than a mirage, a dream built on secrets and lies. The days that followed the confrontation were a blur of heart-wrenching introspection and overwhelming sorrow. I wandered through our home as if it were a ghostly landscape, a place where every room echoed with memories of laughter and love that now felt tainted by deceit. I replayed every moment in my mind, the times when her eyes had sparkled with warmth, the gentle reassurances of trust, and the tender promises that had once filled our nights. Each memory now stung with the knowledge that our love was not as unbreakable as I had believed, that the foundation we had built was infiltrated by a hidden betrayal that had been meticulously planned and executed. In the solitude of my grief, I sought solace in my journal. I poured out every thought, every question, every aching moment onto the pages, the ink a raw testament to the pain I was enduring. I wrote about the discovery of the hidden folder, the way the red-circled entries in her digital plans had shattered my trust, and the profound sorrow that had overtaken me when I realized that our future was nothing more than a carefully orchestrated illusion. Each entry was a step toward understanding the truth, that while the betrayal cut deeply, it also gave me the power to rebuild, to redefine who I was and what I deserved. My closest friends rallied around me during those dark days. They offered comfort, shared their own stories of heartbreak, and reminded me that I was not alone in my struggle. "You deserve honesty," one friend told me one evening as we sat on her porch under a starlit sky. "You deserve a future where every promise is real, where your heart is cherished and never betrayed." Their words, filled with love and empathy, began to stitch together the torn fragments of my spirit. Slowly, I began to see that while the betrayal had irrevocably altered the course of our shared life, it did not define me. I was more than the sum of broken promises. I was a survivor, capable of rising from the ashes of deceit to forge a new path. Determined to reclaim my life, I made the painful decision to end our relationship. The legal process was a grueling journey through painful revelations and long, sorrowful court sessions. Each meeting with my attorney forced me to confront the reality that our future together was no longer viable, that the love we had built was irreparably tainted by secrets. Every document I signed was a step away from the life I had known, a life built on trust that had been shattered by hidden betrayals, and a step toward a future where I could rebuild my identity on my own terms. Leaving the home we had shared was one of the most heart-wrenching moments of my life. With a heavy heart, I packed my belongings, each item a bittersweet reminder of happier times. A wedding photo, a box of handwritten love letters, small mementos from vacations that now seemed like distant dreams. As I stepped out of that house, I felt the weight of our broken promises lift just a little, replaced by a tentative hope for a new beginning. I moved into a modest apartment in a quiet neighborhood, a space I gradually transformed into my sanctuary of healing. I decorated it with bright colors and personal touches that reminded me of the woman I truly was, a resilient, determined soul with the strength to build a future defined by honesty and self-respect. Every morning as I awoke to the soft light of a new day, I reminded myself that my future was mine to create, that I was worthy of a love built on truth and mutual respect. Therapy became a crucial part of my journey. In the safe space of my counselor's office, I learned to navigate the turbulent emotions that had consumed me. I wrote in my journal until my hands ached, each entry a testament to the slow, painful process of healing. I learned that while the scars of betrayal might never fully disappear, they could serve as reminders of the strength I had discovered within myself, a strength forged in the fires of heartbreak and tempered by the resilience of my spirit. My therapist taught me that true healing comes from facing the pain head-on, from understanding that every tear shed is a step toward reclaiming my identity. Publicly, the unraveling of our once-united future became a quiet subject among our circle of friends and family. Whispers of sympathy, gentle glances, and kind words of encouragement followed me wherever I went. I began sharing my story on a personal blog, writing candidly about the betrayal, the confrontation, and the painstaking process of rebuilding my life. The responses were overwhelming, a mosaic of support from strangers who had endured similar heartache, from old friends who reminded me that I was not alone, and from compassionate souls who believed that truth and honesty would always prevail. Every message, every shared experience, reaffirmed that I was strong enough to rebuild my life and that I deserved a future defined not by deception, but by genuine love. As the months turned into a year, I slowly began to rediscover the person I was before the betrayal, a woman with dreams, passions, and an unyielding capacity for love. I ventured back into the world of dating with cautious optimism, each new encounter approached with a blend of guarded hope and the wisdom gleaned from my painful past. Every sincere smile, every kind word exchanged, helped mend the shattered fragments of my heart, weaving together a new tapestry of hope that promised a future built on trust and transparency. I learned that true love must be nurtured with honesty, that every promise is sacred when it is kept, and that I am worthy of a partner who values my trust as much as I value theirs. Now, as I sit in the soft, gentle glow of my modest apartment, a space that stands as a testament to my journey from heartbreak to healing, I reflect on the long, winding path that has led me from the depths of betrayal to a place of quiet empowerment. The memory of that hidden folder of the red-circled plans B and C that revealed a secret life I never knew existed, remains etched in my heart as a painful reminder of the fragility of trust. Yet it is also a testament to the strength I discovered within myself, a strength that allowed me to confront the truth, reclaim my dignity, and rebuild my future on my own terms. Every sunrise now is a promise of new beginnings, a chance to rewrite my story, to shape a future defined by truth, respect, and the unyielding light of self-respect. I move forward with an unshakable conviction that I deserve a love that is honest and complete, a future where trust is not a fragile illusion but a solid foundation built on mutual respect and transparency. I stand today not as a victim of betrayal but as a survivor, a woman whose heart, though scarred, beats with hope and resilience, determined to build a life defined by genuine love. This is my story, a journey of shattered promises and heartbreaking betrayal, and ultimately, of the triumphant reclamation of my life. I believed her promises of honesty, trusted every word she said about our future, and built my dreams on the foundation of our love. But when I discovered that hidden folder labeled plans B and C on her laptop, everything I believed crumbled into bitter fragments of deception. In that heart-wrenching moment, I found the strength to gather every piece of evidence, confront the painful truth, and reclaim my future from the ruins of lies. Every tear, every sleepless night, every agonizing moment has led me to this place, a place of quiet strength where I now stand unbroken, ready to shape a future defined by truth, self-respect, and the unwavering belief that I am worthy of a love that is real. Every new day is a fresh beginning, a blank page on which I now write my story, guided by the light of truth and the power of my own resilience. I have learned that betrayal, as devastating as it can also be the catalyst for transformation, a painful yet powerful invitation to rediscover who we truly are beneath the layers of shattered promises. I move forward with an unyielding spirit, knowing that my worth is not measured by the lies of a deceitful past, but by the strength I've found in rising above it. And as the sun rises each morning, I am reminded that I am the author of my own destiny, a destiny built on honesty, integrity, and the promise of a future that is entirely my own.